Andres, what's up, man? How you doing today?
Good. What about you?
I'm doing great, bro. Honestly, just came home from the gym, bro. Just last minute, but yeah, I was a little bit late. How would you explain to someone who you are and what you do for someone who maybe doesn't know you?
The simple, short synopsis of me, if you will, is that I got into sales and business 2 years ago. And then from the very beginning, it honestly all started just because I had a drive of wanting to compete, wanting to be the best, wanting to beat people, as
Mm,
bad or as good as that sounds, whatever you want to call it. And then because of that, eventually it started into sales. And I got really, really good at sales, ended up being the number one guy in a company doing $40 million a year, out collecting the rest of that team
Jesus.
combined. And then ended up running that company alongside my business partner, Yash, all revenue operations, training, managing, everything, the entire team. And then going from that to launching Impact Team now on a mission to make sales education accessible to
Mm,
everybody, getting it to 20,000 members in like 5 months. So that's
Jesus,
my
bro.
short synopsis.
How old are you, bro? You look like 21, 22.
I just turned 18.
18, bro. You were the same age. What the fuck?
Yeah, I just
Holy
turned 18
shit. Holy
a month ago.
shit. Great. You're actually younger than me with a couple of months. What the fuck, bro? Okay, you beat 90% of guys are 99% of guys our age, like including myself, bro. Holy shit. That's crazy. I want to get into all of that later on, but I wanted to start from the beginning. Like, what was your childhood like? Which was not really that long ago.
Yeah, and I'm still basically in my fucking childhood at this point. My childhood, I would say a lot of people have this story of like, oh, I grew up in shambles and I was poor and all this shit. I honestly had a
Mm,
very middle class upbringing. So like everything was kind of normal. The only thing that went, I guess, sideways, you could say, is that my brother got into drugs. So he became an addict, eventually started selling drugs as well. And so
mm,
my parents, and that kind of became the catalyst to me doing everything I did. Because my parents had to
mm,
put all their time into him, as any good parents would. And so I naturally ended up having to grow up very independent. So where like I had to make a lot of my own
mm,
food. There would sometimes be 2 days at a time where I wouldn't see my parents or like stuff like that. And so naturally growing up in that environment myself, it made me crave my parents' attention.
mm,
And this is something I didn't even realize in the moment. Like I'm not some 15-year-old kid being like, oh, I crave my parents' attention. Like it's not
mm,
like that. It's a very subconscious thing that everybody has. But so for me, it was like, since I didn't have my parents' attention, I was always like, oh, I want to have it. And
mm,
so I had to do things to naturally be able to impress them. And at the beginning, it
mm.
was like engineering or like whatever they wanted to do. But then very quickly, I figured out that I'd fucking hate my life if I did that. And so that's what decided for me to end up going into business and then accomplish everything I did.
Huh.
Until I'm sure we'll go into it later on. That can only motivate you for so long. And so then I had to
Yeah,
find other drivers. But that's kind of what got me into it originally.
yeah. How old is your brother?
I turned 18.
How old is your brother? Like, you got an
Oh, my
older?
brother, he's 21. 21.
Oh, I got an older brother too. He's 23. Yeah. So like,
And I
there's
have
no.
another one that's 30.
Yeah.
So I have two.
Ah, interesting. Well, we're both the youngest childs, bro. I
Yeah.
had no idea we were the same age. Like that really caught me off guard. So, who did you look up to when you were like, let's say, 15-ish? Like, was it your parents or was it like someone online in this entrepreneur space and someone that you learned from a lot?
I think I had models of like what a traditional man was. So for example,
Mm,
like Andrew Tate was like a model for me.
yeah.
But I believe in like you take little aspects of different people, but
Yeah.
my kind of biggest inspiration or biggest model was my dad. And even though my dad is a professor, like he works at a university and everything else, it's
Mm,
because like I believe my kids one day they could decide to be a fucking bus driver if that's what they're
mm,
passionate about. They could decide to be a professor or an entrepreneur, a soccer, like whatever they want to be. The only thing I care about is they're going to be the fucking best at it in the world.
yeah.
That's what I care about. And so like
Mm,
my dad is an example of that, but in the college space, in traditional education. And so like he's spoken in front of the UN Council, like he's done a lot of cool things. Obviously as a professor, but so like I kind of took a lot of the principles away from him of like the hard
mm.
work. He grew up in Mexico with no money. He had to put college on a credit card. So like I took a lot of those principles of like doing whatever the fuck it takes, like taking risks,
Yeah.
taking commitments, and just putting
Mm,
that into something I actually enjoy and then using that to succeed to the degree that I have.
mm.
So I'd
Who
say
would
him.
you say in this entrepreneurial space, like you took the most value from, in terms of business, etc.?
That's a hard question. Um,
There are a lot of people.
there's a lot of people. I take little things from everybody, so
Yeah,
it's a little bit difficult to say. I would say Andrew Tate has probably been one of the biggest
yeah.
ones. Andrew Tate, Trump, or Patrick Bet David. One of those three.
BBD 100%, bro. And the Tate brothers, obviously, they firstly got me into entrepreneurship, but like, yeah, I feel like a lot of guys our age like had that one period when they were like, I hate when guys like obsess over one guy or like watch every video from one YouTuber. Or like, I never understood like having the bell on some YouTube channel watching every video from one guy.
Yeah,
that's something that I don't know.
So also, if you watch every video from one guy, you're always just going to be a shittier version of that one person.
That's so true.
That's it. If everything you do is based on one person, they're going to always do it better than you, and you just become a shittier version.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be the best, that's not a strategy for success.
Yeah, for me also a big one lately has been Charlie Morgan. He's been, if you know who that is, he's been putting out a lot of value in terms of like life setup. I enjoy those videos. But when did you decide like you didn't want to go to the classic route of like, you know, going to college and getting a good job, etc., like what every American parent, I suppose, would recommend to their kid?
I always tell this to people and they never believe me. Like, if you took any of those kids that goes to college and lives this shitty ass life and is fucking hates themselves without even knowing it, and you put them into my life, they would want to die before they went back to the old life. So I think a lot of the ignorance comes from the fact that they don't even know what it's like. They don't know that there's another option. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like for me, it was like once I got a little bit of a taste of that, while in school, I started working on my agency, started growing it, doing all these other things, making money, etc. And then the freedom I had that first summer, where all I had was my agency and I didn't have school anymore, that gave me a taste of like the level of freedom.
Yeah.
And not even freedom in terms of time, but freedom in terms of like, I am my own person. I manage people. I do whatever the fuck I want. I have passions. I achieve them. I have goals. I achieve them. And that's a different level of like energy and aliveness you feel in life versus going to a classroom with 30 other fucking dudes, getting told by a teacher what to do for 4 years of your life.
Yeah.
What are you, a fucking servant? Like,
yeah, I agree with that, man. I felt that really when I was 16 and I dropped out of high school. So like, bro, that
I also dropped out at 16 actually.
Really? The same age, bro. How so many coincidences? What the fuck? Yeah. But like, bro, I can tell you right now, like the first few months I realized that, bro, I'm now kind of like an unemployed man. I'm not enough to move. I know I'm not making enough to move out of my parents' house. So I gotta get a job. And then started like, I thought I would be so much more locked in, but I was really just a lot more lazy for some reason. For that first couple of months, until like I finally like woke up, like my parents told me like when I'm gonna be 18, like what do I do? Right? They try to get me to go back to school, which obviously I was like fuck no. So at that point I was making like a couple $100 a month, maybe like 1,000. That's like tops really. So then I started doing a lot of other things, especially I started doing thumbnails as a freelancer, but then I started doing this one thing that I'm surprised not a lot of people talk about, which is hiring fucking Pakistanis and Indians to do it for fucking cheap as fuck, and then just outsourcing it. That's how I made like my first few thousand like freelancing, and then I started being creative with it. But really, when do you think like you become like a man? Because like legally they say 18, but like a lot of guys have that responsibility. I believe that responsibility makes you a man and be able to handle that. But what age do you think? I agree,
absolutely. I think responsibility is what makes you a man. And I think one example, and I think a lot of people will relate to this, I used to have a lot of arguments with my parents back when I didn't make money. When I was just in school or whatever, I had a lot of arguments with my parents. I know a lot of people who are still in high school or whatever, that they're like, oh, like my parents, like they're being so annoying. They're doing this, they're doing that. Yeah, but motherfucker, they're paying all your bills.
Yeah.
They're taking care of you. You would be on the street without them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of fair. Like they have some level of responsibility over you if you depend on them. So I think whenever you actually become a man is when you start taking care of your own responsibility, you start making your own money, your own decisions, you live alone. Like I think having that bearing of responsibility is what makes you so great. I think there was a study that was done. I forget the exact statistic, ridiculous. it was like 60% of kids in our generation, when they went into a job interview, they brought a parent with them.
What the fuck? At 18?
60%.
What the fuck?
I think it's like 66, but I didn't exaggerate.
That can't
I
be
think
true. What the fuck?
Dude, it is nuts. And there's 2 studies that were done and they had the exact same result. Like absurd. So when I think about that, it's like the lack of responsibility people have. And I think that directly connects to the fact that not a lot of people get into business, try succeeding, actually make shit with their life, is because if they view it as their parents' responsibility, like, oh, my parents, they have this moral responsibility, this duty to make me successful and all this shit, obviously they're never going to do anything. And I think that's also what makes it so, and the people watching this video, understand one thing. We have it easier than any other generation ever.
Yeah, definitely.
The amount of lazy ass people in this generation, combined with the amount of resources you have, like you can demolish, you can destroy, you can so easily make absurd amounts of money because you have all these tools, all these resources around you. And then all these kids in this exact same generation that are lazy, won't do anything with their life and just end up fucking doing nothing, accumulating nothing. So like, never had it easier.
Yeah, like bro, you have so many AI tools, like not only ChatGPT but Base 44, which
you can make apps, you can make websites, you can do all kinds of shit that was never even remotely possible. Like it's nuts, it's absurd.
Yeah, like that Base 44 thing, I tried it a couple of times. Bro, you literally tell it what you want to do, and it like 80% accurately does, and you just make.
It's extremely good. It's extremely good. I hired 5 software developers because we're building like an app right now and a bunch of other stuff. I'll speak a little bit about later. But like the first model that I made for them, the MVP, to show them kind of the design that I was going after, I made it with a combination of ChatGPT, Lovable, and Base 44. Like I made just a demo for them to show them like, here's kind of the concept we're going for. Obviously it's not perfect because it doesn't have security. Like it doesn't have a lot of the other things that are very, very necessary if you want to like actually create something big. But it gave them a rough draft for them to be able to like reproduce and create it with the right security and the right Supabase and database vectors and everything else. Like, it's absurd.
So many fucking tools, bro.
Even a step further than that, like everything is constantly getting better to where you can take more and more advantage of it. If before social media was difficult to figure out because you could only post, 3 videos a day on Instagram and then it wouldn't be productive, now you have trial reels. Now, if you want to get good at social media and you're young, you could post 10 reels a day, 15 reels a day, track all the data, learn from it. Like anything you want to do, it is easier than ever to do it right now. Like by far, by miles.
Yeah. What are the first few businesses that you got into? Like
SMMA was my first one, agency. After the agency, it became a little like I started with the traditional Facebook ads, whatever. Then I shifted it into my own offer that I innovated. And then from that, I went into sales. It's like actual closing. And then from that, I ended up running all the revenue operations for that $40 million a year company. We took them from their lowest month ever to their highest month ever of 4.2 million in 60 days.
Jesus.
So that was pretty nice. And then after that, that's when I started Impact Team with Yash and Austin.
Jesus Christ, bro, that's one hell of a fucking story. So what do you think was the best, how would I say this? What would you say was the reason why you got them to the best sales month?
I think
because you kind of really said that you have a lot of experience in sales because you didn't even have a decade in sales. There are a lot of guys that have been doing sales for 20 years, but they still aren't as good. So why would you say you're so good at sales?
I think not having an ego, number one, and number two, math. So like, I'll ask you this. If you improve 10% a month for a year, how much do you improve by the end of the year?
110%.
Wrong. That's what people think.
What the fuck?
Do the math on it. If you improve 10% a month for a year, it's something like 370% because it's compounding. So this is what people don't understand. I know. Look it up after this. Trust me. You think I'm wrong. Look it up after this. It's like 375% or something like that. But if you think about it, that's improving 10% a month. You get 3.7 times better per year. Now, the thing is, it's not actually per year. Because if you improve 10% a month for 2 years, it's something like 10x better. Because it's not linear. Again, it's exponential. It compounds. So I think what made me so good was a lot of people, the biggest issue they have when they're trying to get good at sales is they try a script for a month They're like, oh, this shit didn't work. Great. I need a new script. I'm starting it from scratch. Second month, now you're starting from the exact same place. Or they're like, oh, this didn't work. I need to change my tonalities. I need to change all my questions. I saw this video from this other guy in sales. I'm going to use his script, his approach. And because of that, they're always restarting every month. Maybe they get a little bit better because they've been in sales, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, but it's never exponential. Me, from the very beginning, I chose one process, one script, and then every week I'd write down all my numbers. I would highlight every number red, orange, or green. And all the ones that were red were obviously the worst ones that I needed to fix. And I would make one change to try and fix that. And I'd do that every single week. And if it worked, it worked great. I keep it. If it didn't work, delete it, try something else. And when you do that over a long enough period of time, if you're working 10 hours a day, you can improve 10% a month easily.
Yeah.
I was working 18 hours a day of straight calls, not blocking off time for lunch, dinner, nothing, eating during no-shows, also teaching people at the same time from within that company, training them, which teaching obviously makes you better as well. Like I was doing all these things at once. And so if I was improving 30% a month, for example, which is very realistic, 20 to 30% a month, if you do the math on that, after a year of improving 20 to 30% a month, I don't even know the math on that, but that's I would assume probably 15 to 20x. You do that for 2 years, which is how long I've been in it, a year and a half or 2 years. That's like a fucking 60x improvement or 50x improvement, whatever it is.
Jesus.
That's what made me so good, was building on a foundation, getting really, really good over time and keeping consistent to my process, trusting the process and just getting better and better and better. Compounding exponential growth.
Jesus Christ, bro. This is too much math for me. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's crazy. This is a principle I learned from Tony Robbins. He's a billionaire. If a business, a lot of people, they're like, oh, I need to fix my marketing. I need to make it 30% better to get my business 30% growth. Wrong. If you take 10 aspects of the business, customer support, refunds, chargebacks, sales, show up rate, fucking, I don't know, lead cost, appointment cost, making your text numbers or your text messages be blue instead of, if you take all these different aspects of the business and you make them each 2% better, but 2% better over 10 different things, it compounds. 2% better over 10 things is not 20% better. It's like 90% better or something like that, if you do the math on it.
Yeah. What
so like, that's how you actually grow a business. Again, he's a billionaire. He has over 170 companies. It works. That's all I can say. It works.
This is something I never even thought about. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's crazy. Because if you tell yourself, if you go into a month thinking, I need to be 100% better this month, that's very difficult. But if you say, I need to make each of these departments 7% better, that's not that bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty easy. 7% better over 7 departments, that's not that difficult.
Jesus.
Compounds.
What the fuck? All right, bro. This is gonna be a lot of me to think about. I'm gonna rewatch this, bro. After what the fuck? All right. This is something definitely that's gonna get clipped, bro. This is crazy. So how did you land that offer in the first place?
So number one, since I had started my agency, I had a little bit of experience, which did help me. But what I did to get an offer, and this is what I recommend to everybody, I found 3 companies that I really, really liked. So I liked their founders, I liked their mission, etc. And one of them, I didn't like the founder, but I liked the mission. And then I sent emails to every email that I could find within that company. So I would look at their social media, who are people who are tagged. I would look at their website, their staff, look at people's name. And I literally just guess their emails. John at their domain, Mike at their domain. And I'd put all the team members' names, all the common ones, even like info, support, help at XYZ, sales at X, like all the common ones. And I would send probably 30 emails per company, personalized to the company, not to the person individually because that would take too long, but to the company. And I would attach a Loom video at the end. And all 3 of those companies, multiple people in every single one of those companies all tried hiring me because they didn't speak to each other. Multiple people in each.
Interesting. So do you think that it was the Loom video in particular, or do you think it was the amount of like outreach?
I think it was both. Like the Loom video is what made it stick out and be like, okay, this kid means business. And also the fact that I was sending so many emails, like it showed them, okay, he has work ethic. What if he did this to our leads? Somebody's gonna close. So like, I think it was a mix of both, but the volume obviously helped to show them the work ethic and also just have more shots. And then the Loom video also helped as well, obviously. Because like I had a company, for example, where the sales manager and the head of recruitment told me no. But the founder loved my passion because he started when he was really young as well. And so the founder bypassed both of them and hired me. Or asked to hire me. I ended up turning it down, but he asked to hire me.
Yeah.
So like,
Crazy. So interesting. So how would you recommend someone to get in a sales position nowadays? Is it the same way?
dude, I think it's the same way. Like,
Really?
keep in mind, that was a year and like 2 or 3 months ago. It wasn't that long ago. But regardless, most people don't. What I like about strategies like that is that most people sheerly don't have the work ethic and the level of commitment to actually do that. So if you do, you're already in a different box. You're already in a different playing field. So like, yeah, I think absolutely it still works.
Interesting. So I have this one question. What do you think is more important? Because I've spoke to a lot of people that are in sales, and remote sales. What is more important, the skill or the offer that you're on? Because I heard that you can put a good salesman on a shit.
Skill by far. Like
Really?
you can make money not being good on the right offer. You cannot build a career not being good. So like an example, my business partner Yash, that company that we were at. I don't know if I can say the name for legal purposes, but if you go through my Instagram, you can find it. But like that company that we were at, the highest closer after Yash was a guy named JP. This guy named JP, 90% of his income came through upsells. So if people don't know this, he had rights to all the clients in the company, and he could upsell anybody in the company. None of the other closers could do that. The next highest, who was actually doing like regular closing, like baseline and stuff, was making like 20 grand a month, 15 grand a month at a $40 million a year company.
Jesus.
Yash was making 120 grand a month, and that wasn't through upsells. That was through baseline and upsells. He built his own team. He was doing everything. So like that was pure skill. He was just that much better than JP or anybody else there by miles. And so like that's what made him so good. Me coming into the company and then out collecting the rest of that team combined, my team, it was because like skill. I was like, I'm not 8 times smarter than them. I can't be. I worked harder than anybody else there. I'll give you that. So like I working 17, 18 hours a day of just straight calls, working like 4 or 5 different divisions at the same time. So like I did outwork everybody else, but I couldn't outwork them by 8x. I couldn't be 8 times smarter than them. So it really came down to like the skill, like learning it, mastering it, repetition. That's what made me so good. Same with Yash. So it's absolutely a skill. If you have a skill, you can go to any offer and find a way to make a lot of money. That's what I always say.
So what would you say were like your biggest mistakes in the beginning and like on sales calls? Like
my biggest mistake was trying to avoid difficult conversations.
So like avoiding objections?
Not even objections. Like if I knew somebody had a limiting belief, not addressing it. If somebody disrespected me on a call, either being a couple of minutes late or being like, oh, you look so young, like that kind of bullshit, like just letting it slide. Versus then eventually I learned like, because I'm naturally unconfrontational. I don't like confrontation. Obviously shifted that to where maybe now I'm a little bit too confrontational. So a little bit on the other side. But like I learned that from that specifically because I used to not confront at all and it would screw me up. Then I got to the point where now I can speak to a 9-figure CEO or whatever, and I can still put him in a box. Like I can hold him accountable to it just because I learned that.
So like avoiding the uncomfortable conversations, yeah.
And honestly, that applies to life as a whole.
Yeah.
Like I think I forget who it was, but it was a billionaire. He had a quote where I think it was the quality of your life is in direct proportion of the amount of difficult conversations that you're willing to have. And it's because like if you have a girlfriend and she does something bad and you're not willing to have a comfortable conversation or a difficult conversation, I mean, now that's ruined. You have a business partner. You're not willing to have a difficult conversation. That's ruined. Your family, your parents, you get into an argument with them. You're not willing to have a difficult conversation, actually work it out. Now you have a bridge between you. Like a lot of things in life that are bad come from the fact that you're not willing to have that conversation. And so I think it's life and sales and business as a whole. Like that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. I feel like that's why a lot of guys go to college again in debt because they are not willing to have an argument with their parents that they're not, maybe.
And even with themselves. Like a lot of people, they decide, oh, I'm going to go to college. And they subconsciously, somewhere in their brain, know that they're being an idiot. And they just decide to ignore that thought. to not have that conversation with themselves. Like a lot of people, for example, this is a great example. When I was in high school, a lot of those people I went to high school with, they saw me then. They see me now. They know that one day they tell me this all the time. Yeah, I want to start a company one day. I want to be a millionaire. I want to make all this money, have all this impact. Then why the fuck are you studying gender studies at a university?
Yeah.
Like, what is your problem?
Yeah,
and it's because they're not willing. They're not willing to have that difficult conversation with themselves. They've seen me. They know they can do it. Too lazy, not willing to have the conversation. That's it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, man. Holy shit. You know, when I dropped out of high school, I was like, when I copied my parents' signature, right, and bring it to the principal's office and all of that, I knew that I was gonna get in trouble, bro. I knew that
That's savage. I love that. That's savage.
I knew that my parents are gonna beat my ass, but it was done already, so it's too late to fix it, right? So I knew that I just have to get this done, bro. I was shaking like this, like, bro, like, is he gonna recognize that it's not their signature? Is it, you know, all of that, like, you know? But I somehow got through it, man. I'm proud of my 16-year-old self for having the ball.
Bro, you and I have so many similarities. That's crazy. I ran away when I was 16. Without telling my parents, I took a one-way ticket to Arizona. I was living in Texas, obviously in Houston. That's where I grew up. I took a one-way ticket to Arizona, told my mom I'd be gone for like 2 or 3 days. There's an entire story behind it. And then I didn't see them for like 6 months after that or something like that. That's
really? What were you doing? So were you already making like money with sales back then?
That was right after my agency had failed. So it fell apart. I got it to 36K a month and then it fell apart because I didn't know how to manage. Like, I ultimately didn't really know how to run a business back then. And then I got into high ticket and then I was making about 10K a month, I think, while in school. Yeah. And then that's when I ran away.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. It's like, oh, so you can fly as a minor in the US?
Yeah, people don't know this. You could fly international as a minor without parental consent. I didn't know this because when I just turned 18. I just came back from Europe. I was there for a couple of months. I went there. My parents didn't even know about it. They didn't sign any paper. They didn't do anything. Like, I mentioned it to them. They had no clue when I was going or anything. Like, security never asked me once. I just needed my passport and that was it.
What the
You can fly domestic, you can fly international, anything as a minor. You have to be over, I believe 16. You have to be 16 or above, I believe, to do it. But yeah, you can fly anywhere, international, domestic, anything without telling your parents. I wouldn't recommend that, to be very clear to listeners, but yeah, technically.
The fuck? I had no fucking clue. Interesting. Huh.
The amount of loopholes I had to find in like government regulation and shit I've done is ridiculous. Even me dropping out in Texas, it's illegal to drop out of high school.
What the fuck?
So what I had to do, it's illegal. So I had to enroll into an online school nationwide. It cost me, I think, $7,000 for the year, which I had to pay it. So it cost me $7,000 for the year. And then after that, since now I was enrolled in an online school nationally, that's when I ran away. And then when I ran away, I declared my residency in Arizona. And in Arizona, you're allowed to drop out.
Yeah.
So then while I was in Arizona, that's when I dropped out of that online school. And then I came back to Texas after. I went there, dropped out, everything else. I spent like 9 months there, 10 months there. Then I went to Europe for a little bit, and then I came back to Houston like 2 months ago.
What the fuck, bro? That's one hell of a fucking story, bro.
Yeah,
I had a lot harder, bro. What the fuck? For me, I just had to fucking fake some papers and I got on.
Nah, here it's a whole process. Here it was loopholes and everything.
Yeah, for me that process took like a week. That's it.
Yeah, that's lucky. I had to plan my shit like it was a fucking war plan for like a month to figure it out.
Do you have like one sales call specific that you remember that would be like the most annoying one or the hardest or the most obstacles in that one?
I think there's actually one that comes to mind. I'm actually really proud of this one. There's a kid, Russell Sage. Super proud of this kid. He's amazing. He DMs me. I don't do coaching anymore, so fucking don't message me. But he messaged me. It was like a year ago, I think, on Instagram. He was like, "Yo, like I've heard I'm this kid. Like I think he was making like $1,000 a month, like $500 a month, something like that, with like a clothing store." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to get into high ticket sales. Like, can you help me? Can you give me any advice or anything?" I go for a walk and I call him on Instagram audio, and I realize like, okay, this kid, like I believe in him. He can do big shit. And so I objectioned him for 3.5 hours to sell him one-on-one sessions with me. It's like, I knew I could change his life. 3.5 hours. I was brushing my teeth. I was in the fucking shower. I was eating. Like, I didn't really care. Like, 3.5 hours of objection handling. Ended up closing him every dollar he had in his bank account. And then now last month he did a little over $200,000. I think $220,000 with his own business, not cash collected, his own business.
Yeah.
And he's 16 years old.
16.
Yeah. So like, I'm proud of that, but that was tough. That was a lot of objection handling. Yeah.
What are the objections like change in like young people and older people?
I think younger people, it's a good question.
Or like women and men. I feel like there's a lot of different objections, but I feel like you get men and
women and men are definitely different. But with younger and older, I think older, the biggest issue that older people have is they get super attached to a way of thinking. Because they've had their life for 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. And so they've had the same way of thinking for that long. It's been reinforced over and over and over again. And so getting them to change that way of thinking, that's the most difficult part for older people. Younger people, I don't think have that same level of experience. I think for them, it's a lot more around fear. It's a lot more fear-based. With older people, it's a lot more like changing their way of thinking, because it's not really fear necessarily. It's more so like a fuck no, unless you change their way of thinking. With younger people, it's a lot more fear-based because they're a lot more suggestible because they're a lot younger. Like, they don't have as much experience. So getting them to think in other ways is a lot easier, but it just creates a lot of confusion in their mind because they listen to anything that they hear. That's how humans are programmed when you're a children.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's where it's a little bit more difficult with younger people. With women and men, women are emotional creatures.
Yeah.
Men are a lot more logical. Everybody still buys on emotion. However, with women, it's a lot more about the emotion. So I think with women, what it really comes down to when you're selling a woman is clarity, ultimately. If they have any level of confusion or chaos or distraction in their mind, they will not take action. They need to be absolutely clear that it is the right thing for them to do. With men, I think it's a little bit different because they're a lot more logical, so they can have other shit going on at the same time and still be able to make a decision. So that's where that's where I think it differs a little bit between men and women as prospects.
Yeah, I was thinking like with women, maybe stories that affect or like wake up an emotion in them. That's usually what I would imagine that would pull the trigger.
Stories help. However, the issue with stories is whenever you're telling a story, especially if it's about you, who does it put the focus in the sales conversation? On you as a salesperson. And like, they're not an idiot. Everybody knows when they hop on a call with a closer or a salesperson, they know that that's a salesperson.
Yeah.
But the thing about the mind is, and the really cool thing is that you can only focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah.
So if you're able to engage them into the conversation and into their pain, their problems, their emotions, their consequences, and everything else, that's the thing that they're focused on. But on the flip side, if you start talking too much about yourself, your stories, your background, everything else, now they're focused on you. They know you're a salesperson. So then the guard just immediately goes up. Now they're not going to be open with you.
Holy shit, I didn't even think about that. What the fuck? You know, I feel like, or one of my favorites actually, asking questions that reassure. I'm not sure which which word I'm looking for. Like basically, they answer themselves the question. So like you basically say, how does your life look like now, and how will it look like if you continue doing this? So do you think that this whatever will change anything? And if the answer is a clear yes, if they answer themselves, it reinforces it in their mind. That was the word I was looking for.
And even a layer deeper than that, because obviously I have the impact formula that Yash and I created that's worked so well for so many people. One key as well is like whenever you're changing somebody's limiting belief. So if somebody, for example, believes and they have a subconscious belief of like, oh, I need to be comfortable. I need to be in the comfort zone. In a business, everybody knows if you're trying to be comfortable in a business, that's the least comfortable thing you could ever do. Like it's not going to work that way. So that's obviously not a formula for success. And also you're not gonna be able to close them because I want to be comfortable doesn't really match well with I need to spend $20,000. Like it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't connect very well. And so like whenever I reframe somebody's way of thinking, the key is after they agree, like, oh yeah, I need to have this new way of thinking, you need to get them to defend it. So if they go like, oh yeah, like that makes sense. Like I know I need to be out of my comfort zone to grow. For example, then it's like, well, why though? It's like, you don't have to agree with me at the end of the day. They're like, oh, well, because like I understand, like I don't grow unless I'm out of my, et cetera. Now they start justifying and defending why they need to have this new way of thinking. That's what makes them internalize it. That's the difference.
What the fuck, bro? You're such a fucking genius, bro. I never even thought about this. What the fuck?
So like, for example, because if they're like, oh yeah, I know I need to have this new way of thinking. You get to the pitch, they told you 5 fucking words. Oh, I'm back to the old way of thinking. Now you're screwed. But if you make them defend it and justify it in their own brain of like, no, I need to do this because like in the past, even another one, this one works extremely well. So everybody has what's called a reference point. A reference point is people they're not just born with beliefs. Like, oh, I need to be in my comfort zone. Oh, I need this, I need that. They're not just born with beliefs. They're created by experiences that they've had.
Yeah.
So for example, if I asked out this girl to prom, she said no, and then I took this big risk, drop out of high school, and let's pretend it didn't work out. And then I went to play for the soccer team, took the final penalty kick of the entire game, and I missed. If every decision I'm making is through the reference point of those 3 experiences that I've had, and now I have this belief of, great, I take a risk, it doesn't work. So now if I get to the end of a sales call and that's the belief I have, I'm never going to buy. But if I get somebody to agree, oh, I need to change that way of thinking, one way I can reinforce is I can be like, yeah, because for example, for you, when was the time you did take a risk and it actually did work out for you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, this happened this one time. I don't know. I asked this girl out and she said yes. And now we've been in a relationship for 3 years. Now I'm getting them to think with that experience of I took a risk and it worked, which reinforces this new belief, this new way of thinking that I've instilled on them. And that's going to reinforce it in their brain. So like, that's another way of reinforcing it. But yeah, that's essentially what it comes down to.
Bro, I bet you have a whole fucking bank of these fucking
it's psychology.
Nobody would never think about, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's deep rooted psychology. When you can combine actual psychology, and I'm not talking like psychology like, oh, I look up on YouTube like human psychology. I'm not talking that. I'm talking about like actual reading studies, like looking at different papers that were written. Sigmund Freud, for example, like that's a great example, right? Even that example of getting somebody to justify a new identity. Oh, I'm going to be a risk taker. Well, why though? Because you don't have to be. Oh, because I know that that's going to give me bigger results, etc. Sigmund Freud has a quote: the strongest force in the human conscious is the ability to act in accordance with who you believe you are. That's the saying. If you believe you have a certain identity, you're going to act in accordance with it. If you take somebody who believes they are the most honest person in the world, super honest, helps everybody, are they going to go rob somebody tomorrow? No. If you take somebody who believes I am a criminal, I do everything bad, I hurt people, are they going to go help a grandma walk across the street? No. Because they believe I am a certain person. And so if you can get somebody on a sales call into the frame of I am this type of person, then when they go into the pitch, when you go into ask them for the sale, if they're acting in accordance with that person, now they're going to buy. The key, even on top of that, and this is going a little bit deeper into psychology, is people want to feel good about themselves. There are things that are commonly held as a moral standard, if you will, where if I tell somebody they're honest, it doesn't matter who I tell, everybody believes that that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You're generous. Everybody believes that's a good thing. You're strong. You're courageous. You're a risk. Everybody believes all these things are virtues, good things. So I can put a frame onto somebody. So for example, if somebody's talking about like, oh, I want to make all this money because I want to be able to take my kids and my family on vacation. Oh, I really appreciate you saying that, man. It shows you're a great father. Who wants to be a bad father? Everybody wants to be a good father. So if I do that now, and then when I'm going for the pitch, at the very end, when I'm closing him, well, what decision do you feel like you need to make to put you and your family in the best possible position to actually get to that 10K a month so you can go on the vacations and provide for them at the level that you want to? Now they're in the frame of I am a good father. Because that reinforces the entire call. So now at the end, if I can connect my product or service to them being a good father, they're going to buy every time because they're acting in accordance with their identity, with who they believe they are, like something Freud said.
Jesus.
So this is obviously deeper rooted psychology, but studying that stuff at a deep level, I don't think you need to do that until you're at least making 50 grand a month in commissions or whatever. But that's the stuff that gets you from the 50 to the 100, 100 to the 150. Like that's the next level of sales and psychology.
Wow, what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's also with people's habits and work ethic also when you move out, bro. I feel like that makes the biggest difference. Especially when you move out to a place that you've never been to before and you move out there where basically you can be a new person. Because if you start acting a different way, you're all friends and family. They know you as the old fucking guru basically in their room. So like trying to be disciplined in your parents' house in the same room that you've been jerking off for the past 15 years. It's like your parents are still not gonna take you seriously at that point, and you subconsciously won't take yourself seriously. But also when you, for example, what I'm doing now is I'm moving to Warsaw right in a month. I'm moving there with 4 other guys, right? I've been known for a year, right? And we finally can afford to move to a big city. And now the thing is, nobody knows us there. So now we can actually be a complete. Now we could have all this time. I'm just saying that this is the best opportunity to become literally the new identity that you always wanted to be, but now literally have no like second thoughts about it. Because there's a
massive power in that as well. Like when I went to Arizona, I was living with 2 kids, Connor Trong and Matthew Pham. Great guys, by the way, fucking love them. But like these guys, like their work ethic, we would fucking push each other, especially me and Connor. Matthew's kind of in a different place in life where like he's gone through more life experience. Like he's not as driven by that competition, if you will. But like me and Connor, extremely driven by competition. Like I'm not even joking. We would every day, we would set our alarm like 5 minutes earlier than each other. And like every week we would change it to try and wake up before the other person to get to the office first. Like that level of competition of just like, who can take the most calls? Every day looking at each other's data, like who collected the most cash, who said like everything. So like that level of competition. And in the moment, it feels like, oh, fuck, another night of 4 hours of sleep because I need to fucking beat this dude. But like after, it's like, I couldn't be more grateful for that. And me and Connor are still great friends. I'm not going to be more grateful for that. That level of competition and like camaraderie. I hope I said that right. That level of that competitiveness, like that's what builds you as a man, ultimately.
I also feel like this is another good reason for a big city, because I can tell you when we were there for this meetup last month, I kept seeing like 911s and GTRs, like AMG GTRs. I kept seeing G-Wagons there. I'm like, holy fucking shit, bro. Like, people have a lot of money. Like, I went to a gym, right? Costs like fucking $50 for a 1-day pass. And I'm like, to me, that's like kind of like, to the standards compared to Czech Republic, to a smaller town here, it does like a whole month membership for the 1-day pass. Like, I don't know.
No. In most gyms, even in America, in most gyms, that's a whole month worth of. But that's absolutely true. And even like the beauty, I think, is like any city you're in, as long as it's decently big. And if you're watching this, I think it's very important to anybody watching this. You can find people of that caliber. Yeah. But the way you find them is by becoming that type of person as well. So like, for example, I'm in this group that a billionaire founded, right? Billionaire, like I think he has 2 IPOs under his belt, like taking 2 companies public. He's sold multiple. He founded a company in the NASDAQ. Fucking crazy. And like that group, like we've got a bunch of clients there. We've met a lot of people there that are amazing human beings, super successful. Like that forces you to grow at a different level. And so, I think the ability to find people like that you can compete with and get better because of, that's massive, extremely important.
Yeah, definitely. Also being around that energy in general. Like, I went to a gym that in my city, right, which is like, it's the second biggest city, but it's not a biggest city. That my previous gym was like also like $50 a month. Here is I believe $180 a month, right? And I was like, but what type of people are gonna be going there? Because the gym before that was like literally like 10-minute walk away. So it's like they have an option right next to it. So the people that go here find value in that. And what do I see, bro? I see a Bentley Continental GT in the parking lot. Like, bro, I let you take a picture of it and send the group chat. I'm like, boys, these are types of gyms that we need to be going to when we move into Warsaw. Yeah.
I love Continental GTs, by the way. It's like one of my favorite cars. Even though they're like the cheapest out of any of those cars, like it's beautiful.
Yeah, like the Continental GT looks good. The spotter one, like the one without the top. Like the coupe looks good, but not gonna lie, bro. As soon as the
inside is the best. I like the inside about it. It's the most comfortable.
Yeah.
Between that and the Rolls Royce Golden, I'm taking the Continental. I need it.
I really didn't like when they went to the V8, twin turbo V8 from the W12, to be honest.
Yeah, that's that. But
I'd rather take an older one like with the W12 and the newest one with the.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but like a lot of cars this year in 2025 had a lot of like different changes. Like the Rolls-Royce Cullinan had the different taillights, right? The Urus they got the hybrid one and the Performante, right? Like a lot of cars had a lot of updates this year. If you really think about it. I'm curious what is it gonna be bro, if there's gonna be a electric Urus like in 2030.
I don't like Uruses, to be honest.
Really?
I don't like them.
You know what?
I don't.
I kind of like Uruses, but the most are the wide body ones. Like when someone does like a nasty tune with like a wide body, like when Mansory does a fucking wide body and lower.
True.
That looks fucking cool as fuck.
I think my favorite out of any of our cars is the Ferrari F8. That's my favorite.
Interesting. You know what?
I think the 488 Pista is that's my dream car. But I need to make fucking more money before I pay that cash because I can't finance it before I get it cash.
Yeah, Jesus. You know, for me, it would be a Dodge Viper. You know.
Oh really?
Yeah, it would be like 150 grand, but the Viper, like a V10 and an American V10. For me, that I'd take a Viper over a Huracan, to be honest.
Fair enough. To each their own.
Maybe because I'm European, so I'm in love with fucking American cars. That's really why. Like whenever I see
everybody in America is obsessed with the European cars, and everybody in Europe is obsessed with the US cars.
A BMW M4 is just like it's just boring, you know. It's like
I don't like them. I have a friend who his dream car was an M8 Comp, and I was like, that's fucking retarded. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's stupid.
So like Hellcats for me are also like a thing that I really love. I saw a Hellcat once in my life. They're pretty fucking rare here. And bro, I the supercharger one or like Corvette C6, like a manual Corvette. I
hate Corvettes, to be honest. I hate
really
Corvettes. I think are for unless you get like a Z06 or like any of the newer ones or the Corvette hypercar that just came out. That's sick. Mm-hmm. But any of the
ZR1,
almost every or the ZR1, yeah. But anybody who has a Corvette from before then, like a Stingray or like a C8 or anything, like it's usually just people who can't afford to get an actual supercar, so then they get a fucking Corvette.
You know what, man? I if I was to buy a Corvette ever, or even a Viper, I would only do the manuals, bro. I wouldn't buy an automatic Corvette, like you know. That. Bro, you know what would be really fucking nice to have like a fucking supercar like with like 600-700 horsepower that would be manual, like a Huracan manual. That would be so fucking cool. Like they did the Diablos and the old Murcielagos and the fucking Countachs, bro. If we could have something modern in today's day, like a supercar that's manual, bro, that would be so cool.
I agree. I think somebody will actually release one. I think it'll probably be another like decade or something. I think they'll release it because more people are going to start wishing for more like a retro one. That's like more manual and stuff. I think they'll release one.
Like, bro, when BMW now released the M2, that's the last manual, right? Like, that's something that people really love. Like, now, a lot of people didn't love the look of it. Me neither, because it's a little too boxy. It looks like fucking Roblox car. But, like, I'm sorry, but, bro, the manual M2,
I agree.
I feel like that would just drive like crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, I want to ask another question about sales. How do you disagree with someone with them still not hating you or like still paying attention? Because as soon as you disagree with someone, their ego is kind of hurt, right? So now they don't want to buy. So how do you disagree with someone with them still like
amazing concept? So I was explaining this to somebody yesterday actually. So I think about it. There's a concept that I call the sandbox. The sandbox, for example, if we'll use a random example. Let's be like, if somebody is telling you on a call, like, oh, I just feel like, I feel like you're trying to make me emotional. Let's say, like they're calling you out, like, oh, I feel like you're trying to make me emotional. That was the exact example that this guy was asking me about. So if you take an example like that, if I tell him, no, I'm not trying to make you emotional, he gets pissed because it's about him. I'm attacking him directly. So what do I have to do? I have to take the concept and I have to put it into what I call the sandbox. The sandbox is like an area where I can play out and I can reframe him and his way of thinking without talking about him directly. So it's something like this. If he's like, oh, I feel like you're trying to make me emotional. It's like, yeah, I am, man. But what if it wasn't what you thought it was? And then you're gonna be like, oh, what do you mean? Like, the fuck? And it's like, I'll put it to you this way. It's kind of like if I had two people and one of them is like, no, I'm not emotional. Like, yeah, I want to grow the business. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I want to grow. Or you have a second guy who's like, no. Like, I need to find a way. Like, I need to grow this thing. I have reasons. I have motivations. I'm emotional about this. I need to make this work. Who of those two people do you think is going to be more successful?
I think I know what you're doing. Yeah.
And they're gonna be like, oh, well, the second guy. Well, why though? And then I make them justify it, obviously. Well, why though? Oh, because of X, Y, Z. This is the framework of a reframe, by the way. The next part is the consequence. Yeah, because what do you think would happen if that guy was like, no, you know what? The emotional person, the one who has motivation, he's the one who becomes more successful, but I'm just gonna be the other guy. The guy who doesn't care, who's just logical about it. Oh, well, like, I mean, I wouldn't be as successful. Like, I wouldn't grow as much, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so rather than having that mindset of like, oh, me trying to make you emotional is a bad thing, what mindset do you think you need to have in order to actually maximize your own success? Oh, I need to be more emotional. I need to be more committed, more motivated. Great. So are you open to me asking you more questions? That way I can actually understand what that motivation is, because that's what we look for in people as well. Oh, yeah. What did I just do? I took this concept of emotion versus logic. I put it into what I call the sandbox. Was I talking about him? No, I was talking about two people, two random people. I don't know who they are. Like, it's two random people. So he can't get offended because I'm not talking about him. If I go, who do you think is going to be more successful? You being very logical, or somebody who's like emotional, he gets offended. So I put it into a sandbox, because in that sandbox, I can manipulate things. I can change things around. I create it. I understand the constraints. And then in the middle, and you might not even have caught this, in the middle, I relate it back to him randomly. Because what do you think would happen if you decided to be that first guy? Now I'm taking sandbox, this new concept, this new mindset, because he already agreed the second guy's more successful. So now I take that concept that he agreed to now, and I relate it back to him. And then I get buy-in. And then once I get buy-in, well, why though? Oh, because of X, Y, Z. And now he starts justifying why he needs to have this new way of thinking. So that's how I handle confrontation, is like, I take it away from them, I put it into the sandbox, and then also using confusion patterns. So if you notice at the beginning, I was like, well, what if it wasn't what you thought it was? Any human being is going to go, well, what do you mean? Any human being goes, what do you mean? As soon as they say, what do you mean? They're giving you permission to now say something different, to reframe them. I can do it a couple of different ways. Well, what if I told you maybe you're missing something? Well, what do you mean? Naturally into it. Well, can I offer a perspective? Yeah. What perspective?
You know what?
Can I make a suggestion? Yeah. What suggestion? Then I go into it. Sandbox, reframe it, frame, pushback, consequence, CTA. That's the structure.
You know what is like really crazy, the question in my mind? What the fuck happens when two sales guys get on a sales call and one is trying to sell the other? Like, what the fuck?
Oh, it's fun. That last company, the one that I was talking about, the $40 million a year company, that was a sales training company. It's the largest B2C sales training company. So like, it was all selling to sales reps or business owners.
So like, if you get like an ex-salesman on a call, like he knows like some of your tricks, like what the fuck how do you prepare yourself for that?
I take him through the exact same process, but you know why? Because any good salesperson understands that the reason you do that is to help the person you're speaking to. And if they're not a good salesperson, which most of them aren't, most salespeople are fucking terrible. But if they are and they call you out and they're like, oh, like I know what you're doing, don't do that to me. Then again, what is that? That's just a bad way of thinking. So what do I have to do? I have to reframe it. Well, can I offer a suggestion? Yes. Now I put them into the sandbox. It's a lot of people view like selling as something you do to somebody. What if I told you something you do for somebody? Because for you, for example, man, you sell, let's imagine they sold door-to-door solar. I don't know, something random. You didn't sell those prospects you're speaking to every single day on the solar. What would that mean for them? Oh, their electric bill would go up, et cetera. Okay, so what would that mean for them even at a deeper level? Oh, well, they can't afford their bills as much because now they have to pay for all this solar. Yeah, man. So the same way you're trying to help them whenever you sell to them, are you open to me trying to help you? Oh, well, yeah. Well, why then? Pushback. Oh, because of X, Y, and Z. Yeah, because what do you think would happen if I was just like, nope, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to do anything. Here you go. $10,000. Here's the product. Oh, well, I actually understand, blah, blah. Okay, so again, are you open to me actually taking you through a process so I can see if we could even help you in the first place and do it at the best of my ability? Yes. Now it's reframed. Exact same structure. Put them in the sandbox, frame, pushback, consequence, CTA. That's it.
What would you say would be like the most overrated objection? Like meaning like an objection that everybody thinks is hard, but it's actually easy. Like for me, what's something that I think would be really hard, like when I was doing coaching, bro, the one that I would always used to like not have an answer to was I can't afford it. Like the guy tells me how much he makes and says like literally you can't afford it. I'm like,
I think generally speaking though, I think people think price objections are pretty easy. Like I think that's probably the easiest objection to handle. Like it's not that difficult. Partner objections, I think, are the ones that people overrate a lot. They think they're extremely difficult, but they're really not if you understand the psychology.
What's
I think
partner?
objections. Like, oh, I need to speak to my wife. I need to speak to my business partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest one. It's not that difficult to handle if you understand the psychology behind why they do it and the responsibility, but a lot of people think it's extremely difficult because they don't understand it.
So like, how would you handle the one that if they said they don't have enough money?
So first step is you got to get value out of the way. So you go, okay, like money aside, man. Like if I gave you a duffel bag, had the full 10 grand for the program, like would you actually do it? I can role play with you live if you want. You mean to role play?
Sure, bro. Absolutely. Let's do it.
So I'll be like, okay, money aside, like if I gave you a duffel bag, man, with like the full $10,000, like would you actually do it?
Yeah, of course. If I had the money, yeah.
Well, why though? Like why would you?
Well, because obviously it's like coaching, let's say, right?
Yeah, coaching. Let's say sales training. You're a closer. You're trying to get better.
Yeah, bro. Because look, I really need to get 10K a month before I move because I want to move out of my parents' home and I prove them wrong. So I really like.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, and I appreciate the honesty, by the way. So is it just that initial investment then, man, of like the $10,000? Like if we could split it up into like more adjustable payments, would that make it a bit easier for you, like financially?
Yeah, but I don't really like to get into debt.
You say again, you cut out.
I don't like to get into debt.
But no, not debt, man. We're just splitting up the payments.
But isn't that like debt? If I pay you like $2,000 this month, then I owe you like another.
Actually, let's make it even harder. Let's pretend that it was debt. Let's pretend it's financing to make it fun. Well, can I make a suggestion then? Something you might not be considering.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's like right now you're thinking with this way of thinking of like, oh, I don't want to get into debt. I didn't want to get out of bed this morning, man, but I still did it because it's what I had to do. It's like, I'll give you an example. What's like a building that you've passed by recently? Like whether it's a gym or like whatever else. What's a building you've been?
I'd say like, yeah, the kickboxing gym, yeah.
Okay, a boxing gym. Cool. Do you think the owner of that building, do you think one day he came in and he paid for the entire thing, cash, everything down, and he was like, yeah, 100% have everything? Or did he leverage debt, even though it's difficult to actually get to where he wanted to go?
Yeah, that makes sense a lot, actually.
Yeah, it's because it's the same way with an apartment, man. It's like the owners of those, they don't pay 100 mil up front. They leverage debt because that's the level of commitment that they have. Now, the thing that you got to decide though is like you can choose to be the owner, the business owner who actually becomes successful, who does everything else, or you can choose to be the tenant.
Yeah.
The guy who rents from him because he's not willing to take and leverage the debt the same way that he is. But the question I have for you is like, if you think about those two people, who ends up becoming more successful in the long run? The tenant or the owner?
The owner, of course.
Why?
Well, because he wasn't afraid to risk.
Exactly. And have you heard the saying, what's on the other side of change? Do you know?
Discomfort.
Everything you've ever wanted.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard somebody be like, yeah, growth happens in my comfort zone. I love comfort.
No, never.
So the suggestion I'd make to you, and again, I'm not even sure you could get approved for the financing because we haven't even tried it yet. But are you open to at least trying to see if it would be a possibility for you to get from where you are now to where you want to go?
Yeah, 100%. Now you said it. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing, man. So then walk me through this. Bills and expenses aside, what do you have saved up at the moment in total?
2.5K.
2.5K? Okay, here's what we could do then. We could split it up into 4 payments of 2.5K every 30 days. That way you start making the money, right? And you start learning the skill set, and then it kind of pays for itself over time. Would that work within budgetary constraints, fear and emotion aside?
Yeah, I think so. My rent is less than 1K, so that should make sense. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then with understanding that you feel it actually worked for you financially, and you feel like you need to become that guy who's the owner who actually gets to that 20K a month, how do you like to proceed? Great. That's the first loop. That's the money objection. Does that make sense? Yeah. I went on a side tangent with the whole debt thing because you gave me that. I wasn't expecting that. So I just went on a side tangent with it. But regardless, the structure of just the money logistical, if I take that part out, it's just money aside. Would you do it? Yes. Well, why though? Because what would that do for you personally? XYZ. Okay, so is it just the initial investment of XYZ, or if we could split it up into more adjustable payments, would that make it a bit easier for you? Yes. Okay, so bills and expenses aside, what do you have saved up right now? Oh, I have 3K. You put a payment plan. How would you like to proceed? Now money logistical is out of the way. They can't say I can't afford it. They can't say I don't have the money. So anything they give you after this point is fear, purely fear. Jesus. And that's when I go into fear objection. The issue a lot of people make, and this will destroy your sales, I promise you. People will take a logistical objection and try to handle it like it's fear.
Mm.
If somebody has $2,000 in a bank account and you're pitching them 10 grand, and you're trying to reframe them around why they need to be not comfortable and all this other shit, that's never going to work because it's logistical. So you always have to get logistics out of the way first, and then you go into fear. That's the key.
Jesus, bro, you holy shit! I like that was so fucking smooth. Like, what the fuck? I just realized, like, I put myself in that scenario, and I was like, what the fuck? Does now make sense now? What the fuck?
And even that, if we break down that short like role play, when you told me that, oh, I don't want to get into debt, what did I do? I put you into the sandbox. Can I make a suggestion? Yes.
Yeah.
And then I gave a situation. Again, I control the parameters of the sandbox because I'm the one who made it. I control it. So I went into the building analogy, et cetera. Do they buy it up front? No, they leverage debt. Because who becomes more successful? The tenant or the owner? Oh, the owner. Okay, so who do you want to be? Because why though? Because what happens if you don't? So then what mindset do you need to have? Oh, well, the owner. Great. Now I'm out of the sandbox, back into the reframe.
Wow, bro. What the fuck? Did you have like when objection handling in the beginning? Would you have like moments when you would like literally don't know what to say?
Not really. And the reason why though is because this is extremely advanced objection handling. Your goal in objection handling when you get extremely good is to convert any objection you get into the objection that you want to handle. So for me, for example, it's certainty. Always. So if somebody goes like, for example, right there in that role play, if you said, we could do another role play if you want.
About what?
We could pretend like I just went through the whole money objection handling, and then you told me like, dude, it's just like a really big commitment still. We could do that if you want.
Okay, let's do
it. Or if we don't have time, we don't have to. I can just explain
I have all the time in the world, bro.
Okay.
I want it. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So pretend, just be like, yeah, it's a big commitment or whatever.
Yeah, bro. But you know what? It's like I feel like it's just too much commitment. I already like got a wife. I don't need more commitment in my life.
Okay. Can I make a suggestion on that though? Maybe something you might not be saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of like I put it to you this way. Like it makes sense because what you're seeking ultimately is like certainty, right? Like it'll actually get you the result. You'll be safe. You'll be successful, right? Pause out of the role play. You just agree that it's certainty. So now I converted any objection into the fact that you lack certainty.
Holy shit. I didn't even
realize
what you did there.
Exactly. I have fucking a million reframes to handle certainty. Do you know how many you have? 0, because you're the prospect.
Yeah.
So now I'm at an advantage. If I'm trying to handle your objection, you're at an advantage. If I convert it into my objection that I want to handle, now I'm at the advantage. So now I'll continue. I'll put it to you this way, man. It's kind of like if I wanted to go to the beach tomorrow, I don't know the weather at the beach before I get there. Like I could check the weather app. Has it ever been wrong?
Yeah, it's been a lot of sometimes.
Fucking too many times. So if I never go to the beach, unless it's 100% guaranteed to be the perfect weather, would I ever be able to go to the beach?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
No. Same way for you, man. Like in business, if we never actually invest into learning the marketing skills so we can actually grow the business and get to that 100K a month, unless it's 100% guarantee to get us the perfect results, would you ever be able to invest and like learn the skill?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I know.
Wouldn't be able to. And have you considered maybe even thinking about a layer deeper? Maybe that's the reason we're even having this conversation now. Because you've been seeking that certainty for the past 12 months. And so because of that, you haven't actually done anything.
Yeah, man, you're fucking right.
So then what I want to ask you is like, and really consider it, what do you think happens if we keep having that same way of thinking of seeking this absolute certainty, even though it doesn't exist, for the next 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, even 2 years?
Shit, man. Nothing's really going to change at that point.
And what would that mean for you, more personally?
That I'm
I appreciate honesty.
That I'm most probably not going to get 10K a month because I'm going to keep making the same decisions.
And you're not getting a 10K a month, like even besides yourself, because you don't seem like a selfish guy. Identity frame. You don't seem like a selfish guy. What would that even mean for like the people around you?
Shit, my mom's probably going to work till her 70s, 65.
And I appreciate the honesty, right? It shows me you're a good son. So then the question I have for you is like, are you actually willing to settle for that being a possibility? Your mom having to work until she's 70, you not getting to that 10K a month because we keep seeking that certainty.
No, fuck no.
Okay. So my question to you is, what decision do you feel like you need to make to put yourself in the best possible position? When your head hits the pillow tonight, you know you did everything in your power today to get to that 10K a month so your mom doesn't have to work anymore and you're actually able to provide for the people around you as that son.
I need to take the fucking risk, bro. I have nothing to lose.
Right. That's an entire frame. That's a certainty frame.
Jeez.
Now, if you still say no right there, I could take you on for ages because now you're in my objection. You're in my objection. It's not yours anymore. It's mine. I converted it into a certainty reframe. There's other people like Josh, for example, does perspective. So he can convert any objection into a perspective objection, and he handles that. There's other people I know that do commitment. But like any of the best people, what they've mastered is the skill of converting objections into whatever they want to handle. Because now people are in your world, and so you can go forever. Rather than having to memorize how to handle 10 different objections a million different ways, I just know how to handle this one objection extremely well, and I know how to convert every objection into it.
Yeah. Crazy, bro. What the fuck? That was so fucking smooth. Like, I literally, I didn't like, it took me a while to like figure out what the fuck just happened.
That's how it goes.
Bro, smooth as fuck, bro. I can see we're really good at this. What the fuck? What would you say then, if objections weren't your biggest enemy, what would you say was the hardest thing throughout your journey if it wasn't the objections? Like about sales.
In sales, could it be in anything? Could it be in anything?
Yeah, absolutely.
In anything, I think the biggest thing, the most difficult part for me was the sacrifice I had to make.
Like what?
So for example, give me an example. When I was working 12 hours a day, I consider that easy. Because I still had, I don't know, an hour and a half, go to dinner with some buddies, maybe call my parents once or twice a week. Like I still had that period of time. Obviously at the beginning, I couldn't call them because they'd be fucking pissed off. But like after 2 months and I could call them, they got over, right? But like I had a little bit of extra time a day. So it kind of made it so like, okay, I still have a way to disconnect. Like I can kind of get away from this. Then that company went through a period of time where doing terrible, a bunch of leadership mistakes, a bunch of shit happened. And so that's when we kind of had to step in. And so that was a period of time where I was working literally like 17, 18 hours a day. And oh, I'm working, watching fucking YouTube videos on random shit. Like actual sitting down on calls, working, training people, managing people, reviewing data, new ideas, like actual work. And that was a decision that I had to make of I'm going to switch into this. And that was extremely difficult because of the sacrifices I would have to make. I texted people literally going, here, I'll pull up a text right now. I'll pull up a text right now.
Holy shit. Bro, 17, 18 hours, that's fucking crazy. Just imagine. What the fuck? How long was that period of time?
I think sometimes people don't actually understand what it was like. So I just want to find this text to like show it to people.
How long was that period of time?
That was 3 months, I believe, 4 months.
Jesus. A lot of caffeine, I bet.
Yeah, definitely. Wait.
By the way, nothing to do with you. I won't be able to text anything for 6 months. I have to be alone and get myself for 6 months. What the
fuck? Literally just texted everybody. I will not be able to speak. You will not hear from me. I will not talk to you for 6 months. I will be working. Like, and people think about it conceptually like, oh, okay, like, yeah, like that sounds difficult. But I don't think you understand, like, whenever you're attached to people, you're connected to people. Like I just got this period where I was still working 12, 14 hours a day, but I go from that to now fully just all fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, that's tough because you wake up every morning knowing every morning for the next 6 months, but really indefinitely, are going to look the exact same and it's just going to be work. You know, every day, and it's doing something you don't even fucking like. I don't like sales. A lot of people don't understand this about me. I don't actually enjoy sales. Yeah. I never have. Like I just got really good at it because I realized that's what I needed to do. So I forced myself to do it. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, that's not a good thing or whatever. I think it's a great thing. If I can do something I don't even enjoy for 18 hours a day, 7 days a week for months, and your ass watching this fucking video can't even do something you like doing for 10 hours a fucking day, I'm going to run laps around you.
Yeah.
Which I have. So like, Yeah, I think that was a very powerful thing for me, but that was probably the most difficult part about all of it was the amount of sacrifice I had to make through that. Where every day it was like, great, I'm waking up and I know the next 6 fucking months look like a copy and paste of today.
Yeah,
That's not easy.
I really relate to that copy and paste analogy you just used, bro. Holy shit. That's like a part of when it really clicked home.
And a lot of people are like, they look forward to, oh, I'm at least going to go to dinner and have fun with these buddies of mine on this Sunday or whatever. Like, I didn't have any of that. Like, it was copy and fucking paste. Copy and fucking paste. That was it. Like, nothing. Nobody to talk to, nobody to do anything. Matthew and Connor had left the company at that point. So it was just me. Me alone. Yeah. Just me. Nothing. Nobody.
How did you fall asleep at night? Like bro, like thinking.
I was just so exhausted, bro. I would just lay down and I'd pass out. I was literally exhausted. I was just so exhausted. And I would wake up, and this was the worst part. And this wasn't every night, but this would be a couple of nights. And these were the worst, like the hardest days. I would wake up and it would felt like I fell asleep 5 minutes ago. I don't know if you know that feeling. Yeah. Like you wake up, bro, it feels like you fell asleep 5 minutes ago. You don't feel rested. You feel like shit. Fucking working 2 days straight. I already know I'm about to do something I don't even fucking like for 18 hours. This is gonna be bitch. I gotta do it anyways. Yeah. That was hard. That was really hard.
Yeah. But again, do you regret that period of time? I don't think so. Because I think that would have made you like a really good salesman, obviously. And second of all, really good with pain tolerance.
Yeah. This is extremely interesting. A lot of people, like, and even for me, in that moment, it felt like shit. It sucked. Looking back, those are some of the memories I cherish the most.
Really?
It's almost like this analogy I give. A lot of people online, a lot of like the coaches or whatever bullshit, they're always like, oh, like, don't compare yourself to other people. Like, be happy, be beautiful, all this shit. Dude, growth is pain. Pain is the language of growth. Everybody knows that. Pain is the language of growth. It's not comfort. It's not happiness. It's not joy. It's pain. And I think there's a very dark aspect. There's a really strong darkness around that level of work ethic and that growth, where it's like you kind of put yourself in a zone where it's like me against the fucking world, and I'm just like in this animalistic kind of like instinct part of you where it's just competitive, like just win, tear shit to fucking pieces. Like that's all you're thinking. It's a very dark. It's not this happy-go-lucky. Oh, I'm amazing. I love today. It's not like that. It's bullshit. It's this dark energy that drives you, that you thrive off of. And being able to control it, I think, is like you need to be able to control it, because if not, that shit will consume you. You need to be able to control it. But it's a very dark kind of thing that drives you in that moment, because you can't be motivated by this joy of like, oh, but when I'm done with this, it's going to be amazing. That's not going to drive you, because it still fucking sucks in the moment. It's like if you put your hand on the stove, you're not thinking about, oh, it's going to feel so good when I let go. No, you're just thinking about the fucking pain. That's it. It's the same thing here. You're not thinking about, oh, it's going to be amazing when I'm done. And if you are thinking about that, it's because you're not fucking working hard enough. That's the truth. So it's this like, you need to be able to feed off that like dark energy, that darkness. That's what will drive you. It's hard to really put into words. It's hard to explain, but that's
how I would describe it is how David Goggins explained in his book, and I've read a couple times, is enjoy the suck, or like find a way to like accept that it sucks and it's gonna suck for a while.
That's the words of it, but explaining the feeling, it's really different.
Yeah, it's so fucking weird.
It's like you imagine you're in your own mind, like you're almost like looking internally at your own brain. You're dissecting it, and you can see it falling apart and rebuild. Like it's this darkness of like you're in your own mind and you're figuring it out. Like it sucks. It is pain, and you're just finding a way to push through in your own brain. Yeah, it's really hard to describe, but that's the only way I can.
Yeah, for me, something similar was when I remember this 1 week, bro, when I literally, I had so many thumbnails to do. Like, I'm telling you, like, fucking, bro, like, probably over, like, 10 thumbnails in one day. And I'm like, holy shit, each takes me, like, an hour to two to fucking even, one guy does car reviews, and then a gaming channel I had. And then I had so many thumbnails to do for so many different YouTubers, right? Like, I was like, fuck sakes. But I also saw that I don't have enough money in my Stripe account to pay like someone from Fiverr to do it for me. And I was like, fuck sakes, bro. I was like 5 hours in on my second coffee. And I'm like, bro, I'm hungry. I really want to go have some to eat. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to have something to eat after I get it done. But I'd only done like 3 out of the 10 thumbnails. And And I'm like, fuck sakes, bro. I wish I could have the money to pay someone to do it and still take profits.
Yeah.
So that taught me is always have some fucking money in your bank account. Always. Never let it go like to too low to where you can't have in situations like these that where you really need it. But also, that taught me, because, bro, I remember I woke up at 6 a.m. that day, and like at 6 p.m. I got like most of them done, and I still like had a one or two. So I just like napped for like 3 hours and then got it done because my eyes were hurting, bro, and everything. I was hungry as fuck. But I remember, bro, from morning till evening, I was on my computer and doing the fucking thumbnails, right? And then I had this Stripe notification second day, or like 2 other guys already paid me the $25, and then another paid me 30, right? So I had different prices for different YouTubers. But then I got to a point where I could afford to pay other guys like to be on my team, like 2 guys that I paid monthly, and they actually do a lot of the work for me. So my main work is get the clients, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is like, as soon as I can get from doing the work, working for my business to getting to work on my business, like literally just find the clients and give it to the team for them to get it done. That's like the best point. Now I rarely do some thumbnails, like maybe once every couple of days when they don't have enough time for it. But I finally got to that point. But I remember like 6 months ago when I was like doing everything myself, and I started to hate it. You know?
Yeah. No, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, 100%.
But also, agree. I feel like for you it's sales, for me it's thumbnails. But I feel like that time made me so much better with Photoshop. Then now, like, I can teach the guys and I can tell them like what mistakes you did.
How to do it well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because if you look at like a Mr. Beast thumbnail, it looks like it's not that hard, but it's so many hours of work.
Yeah, no, I know that shit's difficult.
Yeah, and people from the outside, like my parents, was, what's hard about that? And I'm like, if they only knew how hard it fucking was.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean.
That's the most annoying thing, where people think that your work is easy because it looks from the outside. If they only knew like the process inside, you know?
Yeah. No, completely.
I'm sure like a lot of people didn't know like those 3 months of your life when you were working all day fucking long. Like they didn't know a lot like what you were doing like in detail.
Yeah, and I didn't need them to. Like,
yeah,
most of these people, to be fair, I don't even speak to them anyways anymore. So like, yeah, but they don't need to. Like, if you decide, if I had somebody text me back from one of those messages and be like, oh shit, I want to do the same thing. Can we hold each other accountable or something? Best friends. Fucking nobody did that.
So, do you believe that technically not everybody, but anybody could make it? Or do you think that some people are too far gone? Like someone that's been a fucking weed addict for years and they just literally, they want to focus, but
I've seen the worst of scenarios still come back. So I believe genuinely anybody can make it. Yeah. I've seen the worst of the worst. So I believe anybody can make it. It's just a matter of like, it all really just comes down to commitment. That's it. A hunger. Hunger is the number one factor that's going to determine your success in business.
So why do you think so many people give up? Like literally they do like get to like, let's say a couple $100 a month. They did that for like 2 years. They do something like, I don't know, maybe not sales, but like something else, whatever, freelancing, video editing, whatever. But they just quit. When they saw the potential, they already made a few thousand online, so they know it's real. I don't understand people that quit then. I understand people that quit if they never even made a little bit of progress, but people that already like YouTubers that got to like 10, 15,000 subscribers already get to 1K a month with YouTube, but then they quit.
I think a lot of those people who eventually get to like, oh, making a couple $1,000s or whatever, they realize that the jump between no money to a couple thousand is the same jump as a couple thousand to a couple 100,000. Like it's like a completely different business. Like you have to learn complete different skill sets, complete from scratch. So if it takes you fucking 2 years to get to $2,000, and now you're trying to make the jump from $2,000 to a couple $100,000, a lot of people quit in that process. It's just like, oh shit, like this is gonna be too much. Like, I can do it later. I think that's kind of the biggest thing. Yeah, I think that's where the hunger comes in, because if your hunger was great enough to begin with, you're not gonna quit when you get to that point.
You know what I would really be curious, how, if you could analyze like how Andrew Tate sold the real world, is actually by breaking a lot of like the sales rules. If you think about it. Like he not only disagreed, but he literally insulted the people and say like basically you're a moron if you don't do it in the real world, etc. Like in some of his videos said. And basically, he still got a lot of people, and I think that might be because
I don't
of
think that
fame.
actually breaks the sales rules, though. I think that's like ultimate sales.
I think that a lot of people say that you shouldn't disagree and you shouldn't insult.
I don't necessarily agree with that in the sense of, for example, when I take somebody into a sandbox in objection handling, what am I doing? I'm putting them into somewhere else where I can say anything I want and they won't get offended.
Mm-hmm.
So I could be like, for example, if I did a 2 people analogy, it's like, oh yeah, the first guy, like imagine, like, let's say the whole thing about like, oh, I need to be comfortable. Yeah. It's like, if you had 2 people, the first guy's like, he decides to be an idiot. He's like, no, I need to be comfortable, blah, blah, blah. Second guy does X. They're not going to get as offended from that because I put it into a sandbox. So Andrew Tate, like whenever he says, oh, you're being a fucking idiot, whatever, he's not telling you specifically that you're being a fucking idiot. He's saying like, oh yeah, a lot of people are lazy and this and this and that. They are fucking idiots. So he's not telling you you're a fucking idiot, but you go, oh shit, I guess I'm kind of lazy. I guess I'm kind of this. Well, maybe I'm a fucking idiot. Maybe I need to make a change. So that's kind of the concept of the sandbox. Like he's not telling them, he's telling them the idea, concept. And then people self-identify with that. That's number 1, but also number 2. And I'll end on this because I have a meeting coming up in a few minutes. But the second part is like, people want to be led. People want to be led. That's the reality. People seek leadership. There's not enough leaders in this world at the moment. There's a severe lack of leadership, whether it's political, business, anything. There's a lack of leaders. So if you can be a leader in all of that, where people can follow you and be like, okay, this is the plan. This is the game plan. This is what I can do. Then people will be.
I feel like mostly young guys want leaders. Not really guys in their 20s and 30s, but not many.
Because what I was going back to what we were saying earlier, the older people, they've had a way of thinking for 40 years.
Yeah, of course.
They don't want to be led. The younger people, this is a very confusing time to be alive. If you're a kid growing up and you see a couple of these guys that are 18, 19, 20, 25, making millions and millions and millions of dollars, and then you see your parents who are 50, making 50 grand a year, barely afford fucking anything, that's a very confusing thing to go through. It's like, this doesn't make a lot of sense. In the past, that didn't exist. There's always some kind of hierarchy with age. Versus now, you don't need that age. In fact, being younger is honestly more of an advantage now. And so like, yeah, I think it's very confusing. And in the state of confusion, you seek clarity. And clarity comes from leadership. So like when you have all of these things where it's like, okay, what the hell is going on? And then somebody is just honest and raw and gives you that level of clarity that you haven't had, you tend to listen to that person.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed.
Yeah, I was always like wondering, like, trying to analyze Andrew Tate is like so fucking impossible, bro. Like he changes his not only sales tactics, but his way of speaking like so much. Like the way he speaks on emergency meeting is completely different than he speaks like on BBC, etc. It's like
he's a master communicator. He's extremely good at influencing people. That's what he's phenomenal at. So he can read people, their body language, etc., and then shift according to it. He is an extreme, like he is, I would say, the best communicator in society today that's alive.
Yeah. Like I've never really seen him in a aha moment or got you moment, you know? Like not, I can't recall any. Like he always knows how to handle like when people are calling him out on anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's like a skill that it's really needs to be learned because he's like what 38 now, and he's like, yeah, he maybe has had a whole. He was in sales actually in his mid 20s. I remember he was selling like TV advertisement, I think. But like all that experience must have come from somewhere. All that skill, I mean, from some experience.
I know his father was also a phenomenal communicator. He was in the CIA and like he knew multiple languages and stuff. So I know that, but I think a lot of it honestly just comes from practice. Like not a lot of people are very intentful. Like I want to get better at communicating. It's a very rare thing to say. If you look at videos of me speaking a year ago versus me speaking now, it's night and day. Night and day. Because I've been very intentful. Like I want to get better at this one skill. So I think it helps a lot.
What would you say is the key to like long-term success? Like a lot of guys get 10K a month and they fall off. What do you think is the keep building it back up, but actually like keep growing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of guys also get stuck.
Key to long-term success past. I think two things: the hunger and then not getting an ego. So like if you get to 10K a month, you're like, oh, like I'm good, like I know what I'm doing, then you're screwed. You're screwed because at 10K a month, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. That's true. And then yeah, just the hunger of like I'm gonna keep figuring it out. But what will stop the hunger is if you get the ego. Because if you get the ego of like, oh, I figured it out, hunger is gone. As long as you keep that hunger and you're like, okay, I know there's a next level for me, you can find it. You can always find it. That's the biggest thing.
Okay, that makes sense. Do you think, but let's say there are guys that did fall off. What do you think is harder? To build it the first time or build the second time after like you fell off and build the second time? Do you think that you're less hungry?
Man, like it's different person to person because some people, if you fail, you get more hunger. Some people, you fail, you get less hunger.
Because you got a taste of it.
Exactly. Like for me, I got more hunger anytime I failed. But most people get less, and that destroys them.
Interesting.
The thing I'll end on that I think everybody should consider is like, and again, I've said this like 3 times already. The level of hunger you have will be the single largest determining factor of your success in business. You get to 10K a month and you're comfortable, you're screwed. You get to 100K a month, you're comfortable, you're screwed. You get to $1 million a month, you're comfortable, you're screwed. I made, I think we counted up 220 grand last month or 230 grand last month.
Yeah. Jesus.
I'm not fucking comfortable. I'm growing faster than ever. 2 massive announcements that are coming out in the next like 48 hours. One has to do with a 9-figure entrepreneur. Like, have more hunger than ever. So it's your hunger that will determine the amount of success you have in business.
Now, how does it feel to like realize that that's like 5 years of someone's life? Like someone makes like 30K a year, and like literally then they're like half a decade of their life in 1 month.
I feel bad for them. It's like, fuck are you doing? Like, anybody, no matter where you are in life, there's a path and a set of decisions that you can make that would lead to success. So if you don't end up in success, that means you took the wrong fucking set of decisions. Everybody's dealt cards and there's a winning hand for any set of cards. You just got to find it. That's the difficult part. And usually finding it is going to include things that you never even considered you'd have to do. Me consider, like, if you asked me when I was a freshman in high school, just completely normal, that you said I was going to fucking run away from home, be making all this by 18, I'll tell you you're batshit crazy. Because like I just yeah, like, that wasn't a card that I even considered I had. Like a lot of people, you have cards you don't even know you have. Everybody has decisions that you can make right now that would absolutely change everything. You cut a person off, you tell somebody something that you've been wanting to tell them for a long, like everybody has something that would radically change anything. And it doesn't even have to be positive. Like just understand the amount of power you have. If you have some fucking, I don't know, some guy that you're friends with, you could tell him, yo, let's go to an Airbnb for 2 days and plan a business and start. And that single thing, telling him that could change everything. It could also not, but it could change everything. You never know. But there's decisions that you can make that everybody can make that they don't even realize they could. That's where the money is.
And then to imagine that you could have just stayed comfortable and never like achieve what you did, never like even take the first step of like, let's say, running away. What will your life look like now?
Fucking, I'd be in college. I'd be my freshman year in college.
Bro, it's crazy to imagine in a different universe like that version of you.
Yeah, becoming an engineer, freshman year in college, that's probably where I'd be.
Jesus. Man,
yeah.
What the fuck? What's your long-term vision? Like, what do you want to do in your 20s?
I don't even, like, it's hard to say. Like, so Impact Team, I want it to be the biggest company in the entire industry by far. I want to be at $1 million a month profit before I'm 21. So that's a goal of mine. I want to start a nonprofit. Not just, I don't like the charities that just go around begging people for money. I think that's kind of stupid. But I want like a company that is self-sustaining, and then the profit of it goes to charity. Obviously, a certain percentage because the rest has to be kept in the business and keep growing it. But then a certain percentage of it all goes to charity, and then get married and have a family.
Actually, I just did my last podcast was with Mike Fideli, who builds orphanages in Haiti, right? And he has like actually a lot of even old school videos when he was there in Haiti with the kids, etc. I thought that was really wholesome, man. And he's from Miami, actually. Yeah, he's like a guy in his 60s, he's like semi-retired, but like I really was surprised when he said that. But I really saw through his Instagram and saw everything. It's really nice. It's like he has his profitable business, but he also has like just non-profit charity that he does.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for having me, bro. Yeah. I have a meeting coming up in 5.
Oh, okay. I don't think we'll have time for the rapid fire question. Actually, we can blast through them like within like 2 minutes if you want.
Okay, if you're gonna blast through them, let's go for it.
Okay. Do you have haters? What'd they say?
Yes. They say that I either lie about the business growth, even though it's all fucking public. Even WAP has it publicly published. That's number one. Or that they still believe in education of like, oh, go to college, blah, blah, blah. Which if you look statistically, it proves that it's bullshit. All the billionaires now are even starting to say like, yeah, college is the biggest bubble fucking ever exist. The student loan debt in America combined is bigger than the car loan debt in America combined.
Jesus.
You don't know that. So like,
crazy.
That's what I'd say for that.
What's the best advice you've been given?
I've said it multiple times. Your success in business will be in a direct accordance with the amount of hunger that you have. It is the number one determining factor of your success. Hunger. I would say.
What would you say was your best and worst purchase?
I think I've honestly been pretty good with my money. Like, I don't think I've spent it badly. So I don't know if there's like a worst purchase. I think my best purchase would be, we're talking about materialistic things, probably this Rolex. That's probably the best.
The best one? Interesting.
Yeah.
I thought you said the 911.
Who?
I thought you said the 911, the Porsche.
No. This is much better. It like watches have such a high status where whenever you meet with people, if they know anything about watches, instantly connected.
Makes sense.
They love you, you love them. Like the value you get from it, even on sales calls, the status you get from it overall, you make more money, you do more, and it's a good way to like have something that just reminds you of like, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm fucking here for, and this is what I've accomplished.
Makes sense. Fucking hell. What was the proudest moment in your life?
Proudest moment in my life.
Been a lot of those.
Yeah. Trying to think of the single.
I have the last question, which is easier, and we can go back to that if you want.
Yeah, cool. Do that.
How would you describe yourself in 2 words?
Loyal. And a winner.
Thought you said hungry.
Hunger for the winner.
Yeah. So what was the proudest moment in your life?
That's a good question. What's the proudest moment ever in my life?
You know what? Since I don't want to take too much of your time, you can think about this, take time to think about this, and you can put up a story and answer this if you want to.
That'll be good. I'll send it to you, and then you can fucking edit it in or whatever.
Absolutely.
I'll have to think about that. That's a really good question. I think it's probably something in my childhood that I don't know exactly what.
All right, guys.
think about
All his links will be in the description. Anything they are doing this year that people should know?
I mean, impact team, fastest growing fucking sales community ever exists, 20,000 members in like 4.5 months. In there, like, again, my goal is to make sales education accessible to everybody. So there's free coaching calls, fucking live sales call recordings, entire course we built out, everything complete for free. So we don't have any AK group coaching program upsell or anything. That's just purely to help people. So yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for watching till the end. Thanks for your time, bro. God bless you.
Thank you for having me.
And catch you on the next one, guys.
Fuck yeah.